Hi everyone, I'm Priya, and today I'm going to tell you how to read your birth chart for free online. Knowing your birth chart information is a game changer when it comes to astrology, especially if you intend to use it for future based predictions and even to look back at key events in your life to know if they were maybe fated or had been meant to be. So, luckily, doing your birth chart is really easy. I just type birth chart into Google, and the first result that comes up for me is Cafe Astrology, which I really like. It has a free form that you can complete to get the information that you need. So, when you go onto the website, you'll be asked to provide your date of birth, your time of birth, and your place of birth from a drop down list. Now, if you don't know your time, there's a box that you can select which will base your birth time as noon. But as I've said, it's really important to try and work this out. So I will give you some tips later on how you might be able to figure out what your rising sign is. Now, the place of birth is another thing that sometimes throws people because not every location is on the list. Now, if this happens to you, just select the nearest large city or town that was in the same time zone as where you were born. That's the main reason why the place of birth matters, because obviously 6 a.m. in London is not the same as 6 a.m. in LA, for example. So, this is what you should see when you have filled in the form, and I recommend you take a screenshot of the tables that you can keep for future reference. So, I've just added the screenshot of my birth chart with the top parts showing. Now, you're looking to identify your top three signs, which I will tell you more about in another video about why they're so important. But your top three signs are your sun or your star sign, which you can see at the top of the table on the left. Your moon sign is underneath that, so you'll see that mine is Libra. And finally, your rising or ascending sign is located in the top of the right hand table, so the first house, and you'll be able to see that mine is in Virgo. Now, there's loads of information that we'll look at together in future videos, but hopefully, you've been able to take note of your top three from your own personal birth chart. Now, if you didn't know your time of birth, here are my tips on how to work this out based on previous experience. So, a question I get asked a lot is it available on your birth certificate? Now, in all the time that I've been doing this, I've never known anyone to be able to get it from their birth certificate. So, I don't think that's readily information. I mean, it's worth checking, but it doesn't sound like that's an option in the UK. Now, my advice is to at least try to narrow down the time frame. So, through asking questions like, surely someone will remember things like, oh, I know it was at least in early hours of the morning, or, oh, I remember we just had dinner and then your mum went into labour, or, hopefully someone will be able to give you some kind of clue to kind of get a time frame. And if you can get that, then let's take, like, it's between probably 2 and 4 in the afternoon sometime. Then what I recommend is that you try doing your birth chart with the different times and see what rising signs come up for that. So try maybe 2 p.m., try 3 p.m., and then maybe 4 p.m. And then that will give you hopefully a choice between two signs, depending on how big your time frame is. Rising signs change every couple of hours throughout the day. So that's why it's important to be as accurate as you can. And other signs obviously don't move as quickly. So the rest of your birth chart shouldn't have really moved. The degrees might be slightly different, but the rising sign is the one that is so important in astrology. So for me, I think it's worth the effort to find out. Now, if you literally have no clue whatsoever of time frame, like you don't know if you were born in the morning or at night, you could have been born at any time of the day, then it's a bit of a long-winded way, but I would recommend noting key things that are happening in your life, which I recommend everybody does around eclipses and things like that anyway. So over time, you may be able to narrow it down that way. And yeah, if I get any other tips, I will certainly let you know. And if anyone else has got any tips on how you can work out your rising sign, then please do share. So I hope you found doing your birth chart simple, and please look out for more videos on what else it will be able to tell you about your personality and what's coming up in life that I'll be sharing very soon. Thanks for watching.